Okay, so I'm back. I've not been here. Hello, good morning, or good evening, I guess, if you're on YouTube. So there's that. So today there's the third episode of us working on a Laravel project that I call PhotoHost, as we can see here. In previous episodes, we managed to, use a simple dashboard, which is using Laravel's existing functionality with some authentication. So let's just create a quick album here, album 1. And we also added the ability to, add new photos to the actual albums. And this morning, or today, this afternoon, we're gonna working on creating some, let's say, a public page to actually view and show our album full of photos and all that stuff. So most of today will probably be frontend, and we're just gonna use Vue because it's packaged with Laravel and it's pretty cool as well. Create, I guess, a simple, easy way to view all the images in the album. Probably not going to go too deep into the whole front-end part. I kind of really want to have a separate series on cleaning up, refactoring things. So we're gonna have a basic, but still a decent looking sort of page for all that stuff. So I guess we just go and jump into it. I'm already showing my screen. Clearly the worker is not running because we don't have any thumbnails, so let's just do that. Q work. Is it work Q? No, it's Q work. Okay. Also, we have a few thumbnails here. Also did the courtesy of adding non-square images, just to see how that works. Greater than 500 kilobytes. Oh, okay, let's fix that up. Album image controller, maximum that. Let's make it a maximum megabyte. That should be good enough. These two. Okay, the jobs have been processed. Now there was a problem that I think we will see, but let's start working on showing our images to the public, right? So let's keep that worker running. I just reseeded, by the way, just so it's all cleaner. So let's start by making a controller. Let's call it album controller, because we will be showing albums, right? So album controller. That's the one. And we just want to use it to show our single album. For now, let's keep it under the user as well. We'll just pass in the user ID and the album ID. Let's import that. Okay, let's prepare some view for it. It'll probably just be under albums and show. So, but clearly not under dashboard, so we can't use that. I have a folder that I have at some point created already. Okay, let's just use the album so far. Let's just use the main structure that we have at this point. So let's just say album. This should its name. And let's loop for the album itself for the image. So album, images, image, end of for each. Let's just put it in a div for now. So image, what do we have? Image, have the thumbnail, and we have the public URL. Let's go for the thumbnail. Okay. So let's see how that looks if at some point we create the proper route for it. Yeah, just a get route. Let's call it albums. Actually, let's just do that. That probably makes more sense. Albums. Album. Okay. I have the album controller. Show. Let's see if that even goes where we want it to be. AWD, of course. What's the dashboard? That's the dashboard. Yeah, let's actually just go for, is it under index? Dashboard index. Let's create a column here for the public URL. So let's maybe just put it as an attribute here. Let's go for public function, public URL. And let's build a route for it. Turn route. We didn't name it, right? Let's call it public album show. Not that important for us. We might just be redoing this at some point when we build a URL from a slug or maybe a random URL instead of using this sort of convention. Album is this ID, and then we have the user ID as well, or user rather, and we just need the user's ID, so we can just take it from there. Okay, perfect. We have the public URL as a method at this point. Okay, that looks good to me. We want this as a link as well. Keep it as is for now. Okay, open it in a new tab, and we do end up on the controller. Perfect. Album, let's pass in the album so it doesn't crash before we actually get there. So show would be great. Is this the correct place? Looks like the correct place, right? Now that's in the dashboard. We should be here in the index. We should call this show as well. Yeah, and don't need to refactor anything. Thank you. Albums show. Okay. I'm not sure what's happening here. Let's go here. All right. So we're outputting the public thumbnail URL. Let's make it into an image. What? I don't need most of these. Didn't tap complete for that much stuff. Okay. Now the thumbnails. Now the problem is that I thought would be a problem is we want the thumbnails to actually not be all square. They should keep their aspect ratio, right? Because these two are not square, but they're clearly square here. Just to double check, let's make it a link to the non-thumbnail URL, right? So image, public URL. But this is also square, it's just not good, right? That's why I wanted to upload non-square things, non-square images. Just to double check. Good, good, good. I can fix this up pretty easily, I'm pretty sure. So I think I should not be using fit here. I should probably just use resize. Okay, let's see. Clearly don't want to upsize it. I want to keep the aspect ratio as well. Okay, so let's do a resize. Mostly clear about the image, maybe keeping its height or width rather, and keep the height automatic. Add the constraint thingy, and let's pass in to keep the aspect ratio. Keep the image from upsizing. Yep, that's also good. So ideally, move this to the image processor. I think it's called. Yeah. And this is also being done. That's good. I should also keep this from upsizing as well, which it shouldn't upsize. Now, sadly, we cannot make this work for existing images, so I think we're just gonna delete these and upload new ones. And sadly, we have to just follow that. And let's be fancy and select one square one. Oh, I added those to different folders, so that's not gonna be as easy. I'll just upload them separately. And this square one, and let's add one more or maybe we can add two more. Which ones did I already upload? I don't yet remember. Okay, let's just add these. Yeah. I think we should be mostly set here. Okay, no duplicate. So we have a square, we have a long one, square, long, long. Okay, cool. Let's see how these worked out. Okay, these seem to be not square. Very good. Perfect. So this is fine for now. This is a to-do. So PHP Storm does pick it up, and I can do it at some point. Good. I think we're just gonna jump into working on the front end for this. So I did do the courtesy and looked up and found a nice library to like build a wall of a layout sort of wall. So I think it's called masonry. It's called JS, right? Basically, this allows us to build like a grid of any sort of sized images. Now, as far as I checked, there is a view helper of it. So we're probably just gonna use that. Let's just make this bigger. So we need view masonry. Okay. And we do need the main library. Okay, so it does not import it automatically. So we're just gonna import masonry first. Let's make it package controllers. So we need masonry and view masonry. Okay. Just stop the worker. So we're using yarn. Let's just do yarn add masonry. Okay. And then we'll also add view masonry, right? Okay. And let's probably just continue looking from this on. See how we actually use it. Okay. Let's put this here. I should probably build it. Yarn. Let's do watch, because we'll probably be editing JavaScript at some point. Masonry, is that like an ID that we need to follow or something? Container ID. Does that refer to anywhere else in here? Doesn't seem to be. Okay. Don't think we care about the container ID. I think we're just gonna say 1. And we can keep these as they are. Now this is each item, so technically we want to loop here. It's a bit laggy. Huh. Okay, so we loop all of these. And that's every tile here. Guess it's a div, so we can just do that. We don't need any sort of view looping here. We're just using, we're rendering on the backend, at least the items here. We might move in to something else, but for now we're fine. Okay, and obviously we need to import our masonry plugin. Yeah, library. So probably just want to do that in the webmix, or that's not the one. Webmix. Let's see, app.js here. Resources. Okay. Just make it easy for us. Let's just import it here and use it here as well. Okay. This seems to be compiled. Let's double check if everything's fine here. Okay, so far it's broken. Oh, and now it's good. Make it full screen. That looks okay. I'm not sure about this part. A bit odd, but I guess that's how you do how it looks like, what it looks like when you do the I can click on these. Okay. When you make it a wall. Clearly I'd rather this was here, but I'm not sure if I can change anything. Maybe I can. Let's see. Maybe there's a way to nest them on the left side. I'm not sure. The left is the default. Mostly maintain. Okay, I guess we're sticking with this for the time being. And this is nice that it resizes it properly. Or moves them properly, rather. Let's see. Oh, and my face really works in there well when this is happening. We're just gonna keep with that. Now, what else would be important for us? So first of all, when I open an image, well, that's a big one, I do want them to open under like in a light box sort of effect, so it pops out with a blurred background. And I did check for some libraries, but I didn't find anything interesting to use that could map well with our masonry plugin. So I think we're just gonna work on it ourselves. And since we're experts of JavaScript, it's gonna be a quick one, right? Right? Probably not. Okay. Let's see. So we already have an example component, which we're probably gonna use for everything here. Okay, so we don't need the welcome page ever. Okay, so we mostly care about this being somewhere else. Okay. How would we look into that? So ideally, I would probably create a div here. How would we work with that? Okay, yeah. Let's try to create a div here that we'll call... Let's call it backdrop. And for it, let's update the layout file. So we have the style CSS. Okay, we can just write there. That's not there though. Resources. Okay. Let's just start writing there for the backdrop. Position would be fixed because we don't want it to move. It will always be there. Let's make it a width 100. A height 100. Let's make the background color is fine. Just make it whatever to see if it actually works out for us. Would be great if it did. We'll mostly be working with this file and this file. Okay. We want it to start at the top though. So let's put a top 0. That doesn't work out for us. Should I put an absolute? Probably not, because when scrolling starts, might be an issue. Let's just put our RGBA. 0.5. Come on, build it. I believe in you. Build the asset. Okay. I see. Okay, that's good enough for now. We'll try to add more photos and see if it works well when I scroll, which it shouldn't. Let's see. Now let's just add the square ones, I guess. Doesn't really matter at this point. We need a queue worker. Correct. Okay, yeah, exactly. We need it fixed, that's for sure. Guess I could always put this. Oh, now it works. Never mind. Maybe I didn't wait enough for the top one to be propagated properly. So we have the backdrop now. Could probably just keep it alone. Now let's put single image. It's probably a good name. It will just have the image in it. For now, let's put the source as, well, anything really, to see if it works. So let's copy one of these. Okay. So what's the point of, implementing the JavaScript? We just want it to be fixed there first. Actually, I probably want it in the backdrop. Would make sense, right? Okay. No problem. So let's go single image. We want, and it's an image, right? Just so we're sure. It's actually a div now. Okay, let's here. Max width. Put at 80%. It's fine. Let's probably add a text align here. Center. Actually, I should probably check if Bootstrap has something for us, so we can handle these image stuffs better, like media object. Let's just make this bigger to see what's happening here. Not really. I could also just work a modal in. Could just make the modal work. Not re-implement all of this myself. That backdrop. That might work. Is there anything related maybe to images? Or photos or something? Nope. Well, I could make it work with sort of YouTube stuff. Live demo. Would this work for me? Probably. I don't see why not. So let's just copy this and drop the idea of writing everything ourselves. Always a good thing. Let's put this. I don't think we need a header. Actually, we might. So we don't need this to be as big. We have the content, we have the header, which could be the title of the image itself, which would be reasonable. We don't necessarily want the footer though. Have the image here. Okay. Modal title, we don't yet have it though. Now we're just not really outputting any of that. So I don't necessarily want it to be hidden at this point. How can I make it not hidden? Let's call it lightbox container, and just put the modal stuff in this. Hopefully it does not mess up the whole flow of it. Okay, let's delete all of that. So let's see how it behaves at this point. Probably has a hidden by default thing. We're looking at the main, we're looking at the lightbox container. And this is opacity 0 because it's fade. Okay. So if I do fade, if I remove it, still not visible. Why would it be not visible? Let's look at that. And display none. Should be a display by default though. Usage, okay. And creates that backdrop thing. The focus on the model, blah blah blah. When it's Done. Okay, show it when it's initialized. Yep, I guess that works. Maybe I should keep fade in it. Okay. Come on, modal. I believe in you. Sure, I never overrid anything yet. Are these? Oh, these are options. These are not classes for actually just showing it. Examples using the grid. How it works. I just say it's a modal. Does it still get hidden? Probably. Which is fine for us in the end, but okay. For now, let's just hard code the display none into display whatever. Display probably block. Is it block? I think it's block. Okay, so it looks like trash at this point. But you can have responsive images, right? That's usually how it works. Class, image fluid. Okay. So let's put it on the image. Okay, that looks nice. It's a bit narrow for us though. I would want it to make it bigger. There should be something for that. Dynamic height, not really. Optional sizes, okay, so we can probably just do it this. It's not really showing up well. Not sure I should use both modal and modal Excel. I suggest putting it there. Oh, it's in the modal dialog. Okay. Interesting choice. Okay, that kind of works. Let's just make it an LG for us. We wanted like variable height as well. I think there was a thing for variable height, dynamic heights. Should call handle update to readjust the model's position in case a scroll bar appears. Okay, I think for now we're fine. Let's remove the header just for the time being. It's a bit cleaner for us. Okay, it looks fine. Looks fine to me. Not sure yet what I'm doing with the container. Go back with the header at some point. Let's keep it as example for now. Don't need masonry for the time being. Okay. And we have this thing. Should start. Can keep this in the app.js, I think, for now. We have just the app here, and we'll then extract it to a component. So we can have a click event that says open album image. Okay, methods. It's been a while since I wrote any JavaScript, so we'll see how that goes. Probably not that well. Okay, technically we just want to pass in the public URL for the time being. Image URL. Let's log that as well. To be sure that it at least works a bit, right? Okay. Seems to be built. Can make this small again. The console thing. Oof. And everything breaks. Cool. Good to know. This is not how I define the methods. Should this be an array? Probably not. And the problem is that I need quotes here, yeah? Fair enough. So let me just not make this visible just now. We're kind of losing the event here, mostly because I want to cancel the event. Let's say VueJS, event, anchor. Maybe I shouldn't even have a the anchor at all. Just have the URL here. We'll see how that goes. Well, I mean, it shouldn't open it, so it should be fine. Okay, looks good to me. Open album. Let's make variables for it. So let's call this current image. Say null. Let's just set it to that. URL. Okay. So far, so good. Let's see. Technically, just put it here, and we should be fine for the basics. Now we should escape Laravel here. How would I escape Laravel? Is this Laravel blade? Let's look into that. Be away. Do that for now. Later on, when we extract it onto our component, it will be an actual HTML file, so we won't have any issues with that. Bind. Oh, I should be using that, right? I don't need any of that. I'm being ridiculous here. I think I am. So we still need that here though, just to see what's up, what's not up. Yep, okay, so this is propagating. Very good stuff. Okay. Pretty good. So if we have the current image set, we should also trigger opening of this. We'll just use the generic stuff here. I guess I could, because we still have JavaScript in it. If we do this, let's double check if it works. So I have example modal. Sure. Sure. Let's do that. Can I get the JavaScript built? Please and thank you. Okay, that kind of works. In some weird way, it kind of works. There's no backdrop though, that's a bit weird. Maybe I should not use this container as well. Okay. There's no backdrop, that's odd. Is it because it's not initialized? Usage. Okay, okay, for now we can just go for on create, I think, is the thing we want. And just initialize it. Hopefully. Model. Okay. JavaScript's built. Not sure if it was built, but okay. See, still the same thing. I am kind of expecting a backdrop here. Also should add fade, right? That's fun. Come on, I believe you. Don't really see anything now. No errors either way. So fade, that looks like the default thing, so it should work. See why it wouldn't work. Let's just ignore that for a while. Do I need a backdrop? Or is it to build it myself? I'm fine with the thingy removing itself. Should have fade in it though. Pretty sure it should. Now it doesn't show up at all when I add the fade here. Okay, let's do a simple thing. Just overriding this. Show up, right? Example modal. Maybe it's because it's not under some base directory here. Yeah, the modal seems to be technically showing. Index does not matter at all. Seems to be way behind everything here. Bit odd. The past is 0 though. Though I am clicking on it. So let's see. Currently not 0 or 0, but now. Odd. That kind of pops up, but not great. And these do nothing because I need to implement these, I guess. Bit odd. I should just initialize it. Try again. Same thing. Okay. If I initialize it with default, I'm not sure how this works. Backdrop element. The true. It all defaults to everything that's true. Just fighting with JavaScript at this point. Backdrop as well is not showing up here. Should I put it in the container? Shouldn't matter at all. Don't see why it would. No backdrop as well, huh? Is it not on create? VueJS lifecycle would be probably the correct page to look at. That should be. Oh, it's created. Okay, never mind. Wait for the JavaScript. Like it's fine. Okay, so we do have the backdrop now. And so we should keep fade here. To appear at this point instantly. There is not because of that, I'm pretty sure. There's no way. Okay. Okay, and it shows it when it initializes, so we don't want that. Show false. I click it, it should at some point show itself. Show yourself. This build, like it should have. Did I leave some constant? I should probably just move it like that. That builds. builds quite fast as well. And this seems to be fine, but it doesn't really show up ever. Interesting. Do I need to initialize it? Also another question. Like I do. It looks like that does not help if I don't. Okay, let's look at that a bit more. Should be showing. Fast is 0 though. It seems to almost work, but doesn't really work. Seems to almost work. Do I need the fade in there? Probably. Let's just check it out. Should be just the effect that it gives. No, actually it kind of works. Okay. So let's just do... Is there a backdrop though? Like there is. Let's see the backdrop. Okay. How can we move on from this? Maybe we should just come back a bit later on it. Just build a body instead. And again, I tab complete this with useless things. So here, what we need is current image. Clearly we need this, so it's dynamically populated. Okay, now the image is not dynamic, so image fluid. Okay. Okay, that looks much better. Perfect. Okay, we need all of these to actually undo the... or close the modal rather. Close album image. Let's unset this, I guess. There's no need to have it. Do a hide as well. Technically clicking anywhere is fine for me. Sort of a basic functionality. See what we actually want to do with this. Good enough. Okay. I guess that works. It's not cropped very well, it seems. Will be fine. So it looks like we can actually show the image now. Pretty sweet. Let's move it to a separate controller so we don't have to worry about this. I mean, it's not like we're ever going to create multiple albums in the same page, but it will be a bit cleaner on this page at least. Okay. So let's just go by example here. So we need to create a component in the same folder as example component. Okay, let's call it album image component. Okay, good to know. Let's delete this thing and let's just import it. Okay. So I think we should put this here. Let's have it here first. Album image. You have the thumbnail here and the thing here. Clearly we don't need any of that. We'll just have this link. So We have the props for it. Props. So we need to define these props. Okay, just that. Cool. So let's have a thumbnail URL and let's have image URL. Okay. We can have this as a class, as an object. And okay. We should probably have these as I care about the requirements. Probably not. I need the validation. Probably not. So how could we work this in without being annoyed? Let's just have them a string, I guess. Not that important at this point. Not sure if I should be using the props in the thing in the variables themselves. So we want to open it with the image URL, not the thumbnail URL. This also should be that. Let's get rid of href. So obviously HTML will not be happy about that. Let's see. This will need to propagate for the parent. Okay, that's perfectly fine. It should build itself, right? Okay, well the component is mounted. So what do we have? Lots of items. Href with nothing in it. Okay. Don't think I need to look into props, do I? Undefined. Should I be using the post title? Yeah, it doesn't say that it's bad, so why not? Usually related to the template here, though. It's all about passing here. It's probably best to just assign non-props to it. So let's do. It's probably not how I want to do it. We're just gonna do this fast so I can double check if I'm doing something wrong. That's clearly not that. Yep. Prop validation. Does it actually throw errors if the prop validation fails or not? Oh, actually, I probably just don't pass it, right? Yeah, there's no way. There is no way I pass it. So let's skip that. So the thumbnail URL is, should put this in quotes as well. Image, was it thumbnail? What was it? Public thumbnail URL, okay. Split the lines here, so it's even cleaner. And then we have the image URL. I call it image URL, that's a bit odd, but we'll be fine. Public URL. And these are both methods at this point. Can you build yourself, please? Yes, please. Okay. Did this actually put quotes on it? Looks like it did. Right, it's already in quotes. Stop being stupid. Okay. So far, so good. We have all the images here. Just not correctly stacked in there. Don't need the data. Don't need that. So where's our... Clearly we're missing some class here somewhere, right? This should be thumbnail URL. That's what we're missing. These are stacked way incorrectly though. Let's see. Should maybe even move this in, but that sounds weird. Sounds dangerous for me. So let's see, what are we missing here? Why are we not properly building this? Seems to be items. It's probably because this initializes first in some odd way. How could we make this better? Clearly this masonry object initializes before and it never builds the things correctly. Yeah, unless I resize exactly. Should probably pass the images in as JavaScript objects. So let's see, view masonry. Where was I here? Just loop these items first, like that. That should work out fine. Don't see why not. Okay. We created an album image component. Just create an album component. Well, actually, let's make it work first. So what we want to do is style v4 item index in. This expects it to be set already. These should be JavaScript objects, kind of. I could just do album, let's say image, let's say images JSON, making an object as well. Let's just double check if that works. Would be a bit weird if it doesn't, but hey. So album. Let's have public function images JSON. Turn this has or not has images each. Should I do a map though? I should do a map. Also probably have a crash somewhere, or a die somewhere rather. Album controller sounds decent. Album images JSON, just to see how it actually renders. Turn, let's say image URL, and somehow I want to do this. Like that's fine. Have image here. It's just image URL, right? How did I name this? Public URL. Well, that makes sense. And then let's call it thumbnail URL. Commas are probably better. Okay, let's see how that works out for us. You mean public thumbnail here? Yes, I did. I did. Thank you. I did mean that. Okay, so what does this look like? Good to me. Now, how does the front end see it though? That's a different question. I want to remove this die. I want this, but I'm not sure how that works. So we'll see. Undefined image. Okay, that's perfectly fine. So let's just do image. Our item thumbnail URL. Like that. Good. Item image URL. See how that works. I'm not even sure if we're looping correctly here. If I could see what the items are, that would be the best thing ever. Clearly that's not how we want to do it. It's weird that it actually picks it up, but okay. I'm perfectly fine with it picking it up like that. So I want to pass in dynamic variables, so this probably should help. Okay, still does not work though. And though I loop it like that, it still does not work. The links you actually work? No, the links are also broken. Okay. Can't click on these, huh? Bit odd. Oh shit. Okay, never mind. We have plenty of things that are going wrong here. Okay, we have some methods that are not defined. Let's fix that. We have it all in resource app.js. These things. Methods. Methods, thank you. I should also, yeah, that's probably the correct, the better way to do it. I'd like to propagate the show and hide onto the main one. Okay, how does this work? Doesn't work, okay. Close album image should exist though. Close album image. It's because it's not on the parent. It's a bit odd here, which we'll fix up. And it's fine. Wait, is that how I want to do it? No, that's how I want it. How do I rebuild it? There should be a way for me to rebuild everything. Why is this not resolving itself? This is fine, but this is not happy. The thumbnails seem to appear though, so it might just be PHP Storm. Interesting. Does it not like me actually having it as a separate component? Or what's the dealio here? Probably. We might as well do it differently then, I guess. It's clearly the wrong way. It's the wrong way. Let's see how this behaves. I do need to add this back. Let's just, I guess, extract everything then. Still does not work. That's odd. That's much better though. But clearly this does not recalculate properly. Where's the view masonry thingy? Okay, it's here. See why it would not work though. Okay. It's perfectly fine to me, but let's quickly redo everything here. So let's just have an album component. Have a public album control component. Clearly not where I want to be. Is this where I want to be? Yep. That's not the name. Yeah, it is. It is the name. Public album component. Let's public album. Yeah, that's good enough. So we have a public album now. We'll just pass everything into it. So let's call it a div, or actually public album. That makes much more sense. Let's say images is this thing, madness. Okay, and we just have the masonry item in the public album itself. And the props are called images. Let's call it, it has to be an array, right? Okay. Do that. In images. Ideally, we have both of these there. Okay. Let's assume we don't care if this resolves all that much. Let's figure out what the errors are now. Expected array got a string. Okay, we can always decode it. Let's see. Not sure if I should redecode it here. Probably not. That doesn't seem reasonable. Just do a JSON. Should I do a JSON parse here? Sounds like I'm asking for trouble. Got a string with value. I'm not even creating a JSON, right? Not really. Okay, let's see how we can work out the props. Prop validation. Okay. Is there a way I could parse it before? Take VueJS and parse JSON before validation. See what? Okay, let's switch to Google. Component. Okay, let's just do it the odd way. Have to go a bit weird about it for now. Data function turn. Let's call it images raw. Wanna be raw. Okay. Images null, or we can maybe go like that. This images JSON parse. This images raw. Okay. I will never not put semicolons. No way, Jose. It'd be great if I could actually just do that. And see what's up here. Good to me. This is not properly building up though. Same thing? Nope, totally different. Oof. Did I not put the close album image here? Should move the whole modal onto here. Aha. That's an interesting idea. Put it all in a div though. Because you cannot have multiple divs as the definer for the template. Okay. Can we get the view thingy to build? Thank you. Current image is not defined. Okay. Can define current image. It's null. We can also remove it from here. I should also do that. Okay. Don't really like how that looks, so let's do it like that. Okay, so nothing seems to work here. I mean, things are loading, but the tiles are not working properly. Which is confusing, to say the least. And we're so close to being done here. Actually, doesn't even work anymore here. Or is it just slow for no apparent reason? Why does it not work here? There's some pixels overlaying something. Okay. Just have this. That sends data into that. Bit odd, I never see it here, huh? Okay. All the images there marked as items as well. Sounds it should be correct. Just double check if the syntax is fine. We have masonry here with the transition duration, item selector, sure. Tile. And that's just the URL to build it. Do I care about this A? Maybe for some reason this is messing it up, which I don't see why it would. Not really. It's confusing to me. Maybe I could put this beforehand. No, that's even worse now. Can I re-render it or something? Well, let's see. Should be able to redraw it, right? Container ID, yep, sure. Wow, that's not how Vue usually should do it, but it does not do anything, huh? It's weird. Created mounted. Also create the model here, but doesn't really change much. Maybe it's a string for some reason. Pretty sure my things are recalculating here. I don't even trust this anymore now. The library did seem to work properly though. Am I forgetting something? Something very stupid? Maybe. Maybe I am. There's the body here. We have the album. She'll have a div. We just have this masonry thingy. Odd. Is it because the height of the images is not known? when calculating though, because the images are not yet loaded. A bit weird. Not much I can grasp onto this. Bit weird. Like, I'm pretty sure if I just build it with whatever divs, it would be fine. If I just do div, let's put the index in here, it doesn't really matter. I have a feeling this will work. If it doesn't, I guess it's a good sign then. It's not the images. And it does not work, huh? Okay. Still does not show up properly. I don't loop it. Let's have multiple of these. Something like that. That seems to be properly propagating though. Interesting. I'm not sure if that, like, these images ever change, apart from, you know, when it's not existent yet. When it's looping dynamically, it doesn't seem to work. It's odd. I just looped the raw images because it did work. Ugh, it's laggy. Something's getting indexed here. Well, it's looping a lot of things now, but... Huh. For some reason this looks better. Exactly. Huh? So now at least put into line. This is the old one, my bad. I just click back. Still not working, huh? So if I undo that, and I just stay, say style with 200 and height 200, does that work? Nope. Oh. We're gonna have to just wrap it up here. This is weird. Have any errors or issues or something reported so I can look into those? I'm using this, right? Initialize masonry after all images were loaded. Image loaded. Alternative solution, or if you know how many images you are loading. That's odd stuff. Jeez, that's very odd stuff here. Wait for the promise. You know how many images you are loading. Crazy stuff. Okay, can I do that? It's a string here, it's a string there. Does that start resolving things? Not really. Okay. It's suggesting I put this here, I guess. Ugh, so much lag here. Not really dropping frames. Yeah, I actually dropped some. Okay. Let's see if that does anything for us. Okay, are we resolving this? Am I missing something? I need a comma here, that's for sure. Oof. Items is not defined. Yeah. To create it like that, that's a bit odd as well. This items is not defined. Okay, if I just do created slightly before then, I need this thing. We just loaded. Also exists. False, I'm assuming. Go back and see what's up here. Oh, image just loaded 0. Why is this not properly sized or cased rather? Why would this items ever be undefined? Yeah, because it's images. Shit. Images, not items, images. Come on, semicolons, get back here. Okay, I guess this works. Weirdest things ever, huh? Okay, clearly we don't need any save changes part thingies here. Need a footer. Skip the title as well. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay, so that's the very initial sort of view of how this could work. Let's just finish it up by creating a layout that doesn't have all the headers. It's called a layout, a public layout. It'll have very little things in it. Well, I guess it will have to have all of these top parts, but we won't have any navigation. None of this, actually. No nav bar at all. We'll have the app. We don't need any errors, that's for sure. Don't even need that. Okay, we're getting much better with this then. Okay, now we just need to make this extend our actual public. Okay, getting there. Do we care about this being a card? I don't see why we would. Let's just have the album as H1. Let's loop the public album. Might need to put this in a div, but we'll see how that works out. That's kind of clean, I guess. Container fluid or something? Fluid, so it expands to the whole width. Not really, unless I don't need that then. Yeah, that's much better. So best case, at some point, I still have a next or like next last image pop-ups here. That's a bit more complicated. Then I should be passing in an index of the image, but it's not that big of a deal. Maybe we'll continue with that on Thursday. We can do lots of cleanup on the front end as well. Yeah, that's a terrible solution. We should probably just just add a comment of how it was resolved. Okay, let's add more images. More of the same images most likely, because I don't have any more that I have prepared. So let's just on adding these. And is our worker running? It is, yes. Very good, very good. Okay, way more images now. Let's add even more images. Same ones. Okay, let's do the non-squares. So it's taking a bit longer now because it needs to resize all of these images before storing them. But we're almost fine. Okay, I guess we processed all the jobs. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Let's just leave it at this note. So thank you for watching. Clearly frontend has more complicated things regarding browser compatibility. Not that we have encountered those, but there's things that are constantly changing. So we are bound to see more problems. And since this is not a scripted thing, and I have not pre-prepared anything apart from looking up the masonry library and picking the images that I want to show, so we're bound to the issues. So sorry for that if you're not into that. Well, not much I can do about that. Anyways, I guess that will be it then. For the next time, I'm probably jumping in more on the front end, make this even better looking, have the images move back and forth possibly, all that stuff. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow with non-programming stuff, and Thursday is another programming stream for this project. So see you later. Stay safe.